why don't you tell us, as an author, I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on storytelling and its importance in the cybersecurity industry. What makes a good storyteller, and why should we tell stories?
Thank you. Thank you for the great introduction, and I'm delighted to be here with the panel. And thank you to the audience who's taken the time to come in here to speak. So look, I was looking at my bio here, and usually I joke that I should just put all the acronyms after my name and just say I'm a really smart guy and leave it at that. But look, I think when I look at storytelling, and storytelling is a key part of not just cybersecurity, but our lives. Stories inspire emotions, and emotions inspire actions. So that's the power of storytelling. And when you think about storytelling and you look at research, which is in neuroscience, they'll tell you that when you're listening to compelling stories, there's actually higher blood circulation in your brain. You cannot make effective decisions if your emotions are impaired. So clearly, if you have good storytelling, you can influence user behavior, you can influence actions. And ultimately, that's what cybersecurity is about. It's about inspiring actions and behaviors. One of my fellow panelists mentioned that the human factor is key to cybersecurity, which is absolutely true. More than 90% of cyber incidents we see across the world are because of the human factor. It starts with a human factor. It starts with a phishing email. It starts with a poor choice of a password. It starts with a poor practice, really. And from there, it escalates. So if we need to address human behavior, we need to talk to humans like humans. We need to get away from using acronyms and using tools and technologies which don't really mean much to the end person. And that's where storytelling comes in. You can use the power of analogies to actually make a point. For example, if you start talking to people about the world we live in today, where every minute, every day in 2020 on the internet, consumers spend $1 million online every minute, every day. Every minute, every day, WhatsApp users send around 41 million messages. Every minute, every day, Netflix users stream over 400,000 hours of data. This is the world we live in, and is powered by technology. And cybersecurity allows trust in technology. So if you start with that premise, if you make people understand the real value of what's at stake, I think then it becomes easier from there. And then you talk about stories in the sense of what can people actually do to influence outcomes. For example, instead of making the connection all about our business information or corporate information, which is absolutely the key in a professional construct, today our lives are interconnected. The world we live in, cyber safety is our personal safety. So each of us today, regardless of which profession we are in, are chief information security officers of our own homes. The security and safety of our families, of our kids online, depends on us being knowledgeable. Depends on us having enough knowledge to equip ourselves on be it updating our systems, using multi-factor authentication, using strong passwords, not reusing passwords. All of these small things make a big difference. And if you teach people to be safe at home, they'll bring in those practices into work and vice versa. So I think that's where we need to make connections. We need to talk about analogies, and that's a big power of storytelling, is you make analogies on specific practices. One of the things I joke about is, I've used this picture where you have a little puppy that comes, has come out from a shower, has a little towel, and has a toothbrush in his hand. And the tagline is, as cute as this puppy is, you would not use this toothbrush to brush your teeth and the puppy's teeth. Why use the same password? Just gently pointing out that bad practices, while easy, are not the right thing to do. So this is the power of storytelling in a way. And when I look at my career, I too started off in technical roles. I started off from an engineering background and moved progressively into governance and management roles. And when you think about all of those, the evolution of my career, as well as what I do today in terms of public speaking or being on the ISACA board, a big part of it is actually influencing people. And when it comes to business storytelling and you're in a corporate boardroom, your board directors may not always know everything about cyber, but the question they'll ask is, are we secure? Are we well funded? Do we have just about enough? And I think that's where you need to harness the power of storytelling to tie the risks that the organization faces and articulate them and contextualize them in a sense of a story, and then outline how the controls or programs you have in place, be it governance, be it awareness, be it technical controls, how they all bring a meaningful reduction in cyber risk and how the investments are contributing to that. So when you bring that message together, that's where you get action. And that's where I will leave it at, is storytelling is all about emotions and actions.